now until a seat opens up on the County Board of Supervisors. We'll take a look at who wants the job and what happens next.
Trenches and ongoing construction on the roads here in Point Loma. Neighbors want to know what's going on. We're working to get answers.
A man accused of setting fire and destroying the Incahoots dance hall appears in court for the first time.
A Carlsbad man police say is linked to a Wisconsin school shooter appears in a downtown courtroom. We hear from him for the first time.
Paw Patrol is in San Diego this weekend, but first they made a stop at Rady Children's Hospital. I'm Shanna Handy with that story coming up.
CBS 8 News live at 6 starts right now.
Tonight, we're just days away from County Supervisor Nora Vargas's final day in office. The South Bay supervisor abruptly resigned from the position 2 weeks ago, and now several local leaders are lining up to replace her. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Chiquetto. Marcella Lee has the night off. CBS 8's Jenny Day is in Otay Mesa with details on what might happen next.
In just 4 days from now, the County Board of Supervisors will discuss whether this newly vacant position will be appointed to someone or if there will be a special election for voters here in the South Bay. The County Board of Supervisors, District 1, represents 631,000 people in much of San Diego's South County. It includes Chula Vista, San Ysidro, Otay Mesa, Imperial Beach, and 5 unincorporated communities like Bonita and Barrio Logan.
Just under my tenure, we've built 750 affordable housing in my district.
Current San Diego City Council member Vivian Moreno wants the job. We met at the park she helped advocate for. In addition to housing, homelessness, and mental health, she wants the 125 toll road to be free to help boost the economy.
There's $50 billion of commerce that goes in and out of Otay Mesa, right? Otay Mesa is the second most important commercial border crossing in the nation.
Stopping the sewage flowing in from Mexico and getting the federal government to pay for it is another top priority.
I will say it's not the only environmental issue that District 1 has, right? We have National City and its relationship to the port. It has to be mutually beneficial. We have Choyas Creek.
The Imperial Beach Mayor, Paloma Aguirre, is also in the running. The sewage crisis has been her top priority.
Just today, we learned there's a 30,000-gallon sewage spill that's happening right now as we're speaking at Hollister Pump Station because the pumps are inadequate.
Mayor Aguirre has worked with leaders in Mexico to finally get upgrades going at the sewage treatment plant south of the border.
It's going to come online by the end of this month, and it's going to decrease 18 million gallons of sewage from going into the ocean. That's a big step.
She says she could do even more at the county level to ensure the South Bay is getting its fair share.
So the county has either already started or is investing in at least 38 affordable housing projects countywide, and only 7 of those are in South County.
It was only about a month after winning re-election when Supervisor Nora Vargas surprisingly announced she wanted out, only citing personal safety and security reasons. So now another special election may be needed, the second in the county in just 2 years. Taxpayers recently spent $4.8 million on a special election after Nathan Fletcher resigned following sexual misconduct allegations. So let the people decide or appoint someone to the seat. But that might prove tough because the board is currently split down party lines, with Republicans Joel Anderson and Jim Desmond and Democrats Monica Montgomery Stepp and Tara Lawson-Remer. Now, if there is a special election, voters here in the South Bay could head back to the polls as early as April. Reporting in Otay, Jenny Day, CBS 8.
Thank you, Jenny. And Chula Vista Councilmember Carolina Chavez and Chula Vista Mayor John McCann are also interested in representing District 1, we're told, but we reached out today and did not hear back from them. Today, San Diego International Airport experienced widespread delays and cancellations because of that fog. As of our last update about an hour ago, there were about 350 delays reported as well as 40 cancellations. All that according to the flight tracking website FlightAware. The average delay for flights is about an hour and a half. Southwest had the most delays, about 130. SkyWest, Alaska, United, Delta, and American Airlines also saw significant delays. Repeating dense fog has been causing major travel headaches this holiday season. We turn now to Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis for more on why this keeps happening. Carlene?
If you think back to October, Carlo, a lot of people lovingly called it Fogtober. And that's because we had a big ridge of high pressure that kept the cool air right along the coast, and we had the hot temperatures that we were feeling across inland areas. It was a very similar setup that happened yesterday. We were well above seasonal for this time of the year across inland regions. So that area of high pressure, what it does is it creates a shallow marine layer. And so we had heat in the 80s yesterday across inland areas, but then you had the intrusion of the cooler air that was starting to move in. So when you hear me talk about a shallow marine layer, that's going to favor the coast as well as metro cities. And that's where we get more of that low cloud coverage and that fog socked in. And so that's why we had the dense fog advisory that was issued last night by the National Weather Service that lasted all the way through this morning. So it's that intrusion of that cool, moist air that we had move right back in, and also led to the cooler temperatures that we had today. When we look at a reduced visibility across the board right now, you're not seeing a significant one. You're seeing it down to about 8 miles for Miramar, 5 miles for Ramona as well. So we are going to be looking at the potential for some patchy fog tonight across inland valleys and some low cloud coverage along the coast, but it's not expected to get as low when we get down to about 1/4 mile or less, and that is what warrants that dense fog advisory being issued. So it's going to be a little hazy out there tonight, Carlo, but we're not expecting anything to be as bad as it was last night through tomorrow morning.
Fingers crossed. And, you know, we had the meteor shower. Like, you know, we wanted to watch the quadrantids, and this is going to be in the way.
Good luck. Go to the desert.
Drive east.
Let's drive east. It's a road trip.
All right. Thanks, Carly.
You're welcome.
And remember, for the latest weather conditions and alerts on the go, you can download our free CBS 8 app from Google Play or the App Store. Some people who live in Point Loma reached out to us about ongoing construction on streets there. They say they've heard different things about what exactly is going on, but they wanted us to look into it. CBS 8's Brian White is working for you to get answers as to what the construction is all about.
Yeah, there's been a lot of speculation on next door from neighbors, everything from water lines to electrical to internet utilities, because people just want to know what's really going on. Construction crews up and down Torrento Drive and Savoy Street today, but exactly what they're doing is a little unclear.
I have no idea what they're doing. I don't even know what agency's doing it.
I talked to several neighbors who all heard different things from different people.
I asked them one time and they said it was about the power lines, but that's all I got.
Some neighbors have high hopes they're finally putting these power lines underground.
They've been working at it for a while, and you see them going around with backhoes every day. They're working hard, for sure.
I reached out to the city of San Diego. They told me this is a permit project by SDG&E involving upgrades to transmission lines. So I called SDG&E and found out they're replacing a 60-year-old underground electric cable system that runs for 3.5 miles between the Cabrillo and Point Loma substations. It's necessary maintenance, but that means these above-ground lines are staying put for now.
To be honest, we all thought it was them bringing down the power lines, so we were all a little surprised that it wasn't that, just because they've been telling us for years that's going to be the next thing.
As for the timeline, construction will wrap up toward the end of this year, and for some, that makes parking on the street a little tough at times.
Well, as long as it's getting done, but okay, is what it is.
It's a little unfortunate because it's a little bumpy driving around, but at the same time, it's not the end of the world. The workers are pretty cool about it, and they'll move the backhoe if you got to get by.
After the project's completion, SDG&E told me they'll be on the hook for resurfacing all of the affected streets. In Point Loma, Brian White, CBS 8.
Thank you, Brian. And remember, if there's something that you would like us to look into, you can email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com. A man accused of setting fire to and destroying the shutdown Incahoots dance hall in Mission Valley on Christmas Day made his first court appearance today. Joel Humphrey is facing arson charges. A judge ordered we not show his face. Prosecutors say surveillance video tied the 47-year-old to the crime. They say Humphrey actually admitted to arson investigators that he started the fire.
Eventually, the defendant was interviewed by that investigator, admitted to lighting the fire inside of the business. He admitted that he was attempting to light controlled substances inside of the building, and that led to a massive fire. That gives major public safety concerns.
Despite that, Humphrey's public defender maintains his client's innocence. The judge denied supervised release and ordered bail at $50,000. The abandoned Incahoots has caught fire twice previously, the most recent being in October, but investigators do not believe that Humphrey is involved in either of those fires. A 20-year-old Carlsbad man who police say made threats he wanted to commit a mass shooting and blow up a government building appeared virtually in civil court downtown today. CBS 8's Kelly Hessedal was in the courtroom for this gun violence restraining order hearing where we heard from that man for the first time.
This was a hearing to determine whether or not Alexander Paffendorf is allowed to own any firearms. We learned today there are no criminal charges pending against him. However, we did learn that there is an active criminal investigation still underway. So Paffendorf, he appeared without an attorney, and it seems he may not totally grasp how serious this case is.
Can you please turn your camera on, sir? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor, sir.
Okay. And you can hear us okay?
Yeah.
20-year-old Alexander Paffendorf appeared virtually in civil court, dressed in a shirt and tie. He spoke to the judge from an unknown location.
Are you ready to proceed today, Mr. Paffendorf, or are you?
Yes, Your Honor.
He told the court he wanted to move forward with today's civil hearing, despite a separate criminal investigation that's still underway.
You do have a Fifth Amendment right to remain silent and to not incriminate yourself. So the court would be willing to continue this matter out for a couple of months to see where the criminal investigation goes, and then we could come back at that time. Would you prefer to go that way?
We can just do it today, Your Honor. Sorry.
However, the judge said based on the seriousness of this case, the court would postpone the hearing until spring. Last month, Carlsbad police served Paffendorf with a gun violence protective order. Investigators say Paffendorf messaged with Wisconsin school shooter, 15-year-old Natalie Samantha Ruppnow. According to the two-page restraining order, during an FBI interview, Paffendorf admitted to the FBI agents that he told Ruppnow that he would arm himself with explosives and a gun and that he would target a government building. Right before today's hearing ended, Paffendorf told the court this.
In terms of just the whole thing, I would just like to apologize to the court, and then in terms of the future, in terms of the gun violence protective order, whatever you feel is necessary and the Carlsbad Police Department feels is necessary, I'm willing to accept. So, just for future reference.
Thank you for that, sir.
And a hearing has now been set for April 4th. So in the meantime, Paffendorf is not allowed to own any firearms. We reached out to the FBI regarding that ongoing criminal investigation. A spokesperson declined to comment. Kelly Hessedal, CBS 8.
Thank you, Kelly. The eco-friendly solution to help with a crustacean invasion along part of the California coast, that's still ahead. Plus, the executive action Governor Gavin Newsom is taking on processed foods. And later, a dose of puppy power. The children's show characters helping to spread joy to patients at Rady Children's today.